Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. James Gunn and Alan Ritchson were talking more about the new version of Batman and Batman Brave and the Bold, so we'll break it all down. I know there's been a ton of questions about what they're doing with the character. Will Robert Pattinson just be made to be the DCU Batman? Will they just say that the Batman universe is the DCU eventually? If you take James Gunn at his word, that is currently not the plan. He's been very slippery with the way he's talked about it, not wanting to pin himself down, just in case he ever wants to change his mind. There has been some recent evidence supporting that his Batman will end up being a completely different Batman because they just started filming the Clayface movie, and that Gotham City is meant to be in the DCU. And you notice they're already using completely different logos for the Gotham City Police Department, just indicating that his DCU Batman Gotham City will be completely different. There have been a number of references and cameo scenes from him in DCU canon productions already, so we'll also break all those down too, because there has been a lot of talk about them doing Superman, Batman, World's Finest, more crossover movies down the future before the Justice League movie winds up happening. So there's just a lot of Batman-related stuff that they're setting up in the next couple of years for the DCU. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. The reason why there's so much Batman talk happening right now is because Peacemaker Season 2 just started airing, and there have been a number of Batman references already, as well as during the Superman movie and during Creature Commandos, which aired earlier this year. Each time there's a new Batman reference, James Gunn gets asked about Batman again, like what is going on with this? Where is the status of Batman Brave and the Bold? What's going on with Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves' Batman 2 movie? And one of the metaphorically and literally biggest actors that keeps getting mentioned over and over is Alan Ritchson, with a lot of people wanting to see him be the new version of Batman. Alan Ritchson several times has said how much he wants to play the new version of Batman, and because James Gunn has also separately said that he is a huge fan of Alan Ritchson.
I would love to play Batman. There, I said it, okay? I'll shout it from the rooftops. Here's the thing about Batman. You know what his superpower is? Intelligence. Dude is the smartest superhero there is. Like, he's inventive and he's got all the gadgets and stuff, but he's super smart.
Recently, Variety just asked him about this, saying, speaking of what you got coming, there are some Batman rumors doing the rounds online following some comments from James Gunn about him being a fan of yours. Are you aware of these? This is the interview with James Gunn talking about Alan Ritchson that they're talking about.
I am a big Alan Ritchson fan, both as an actor and as a guy.
Alan Ritchson then responds to that saying, well, it's not a rumor that James Gunn is a fan of his. He said it himself, and I am a fan of James Gunn, absolutely. Words have been exchanged about Batman, meaning that he has met with James Gunn about playing Batman. Here's where Alan Ritchson tries not to get sued by Warner Brothers, DC, or get James Gunn pissed off at him by hedging his bet, saying, I strongly don't think that Batman is in my future. Like, he doesn't expect to play Batman, even though he's met with James Gunn about playing Batman. But he does say, I do think there is something in my future with DC, and I would like that to remain true, meaning that he does expect to come back to the DC universe, because most of you probably remember that he played Hawk during the Titans series when they were briefly trying to do their own separate DC online streaming service. If you remember, DC Comics actually did its own streaming service for a little while. That was a couple of years ago when everybody and their sister was launching their own micro streaming service. Obviously, those did not survive, and that got rolled into HBO Max. So you can watch the Titans series, and you can watch him as Hawk on that. That was before he really blew up with Reacher, though. It really wasn't until after all the Reacher stuff started going crazy that people started thinking about him as the new version of Batman, because his Reacher comes off in a very Batman kind of way. He talks a lot like Batman.
Justice. He strung Cole up like a piece of meat and bled her out like livestock. I don't want justice. I want vengeance.
A little while ago, after we started seeing all the Batman cameo scenes and the big Easter eggs in the DCU canon productions, James Gunn then started talking a lot more about the character and their future plans and how they're going to weave him in with the other characters like Superman, for instance. When he says featuring the characters together, he's talking about Superman, Batman, World's Finest. But the way he clarified that, it wouldn't happen till after Batman Brave and the Bold, and that's meant to be the first live-action introduction to the character with a brand new actor, and you see his face on screen. So the idea is that until then, we'll just keep seeing Batman cameos in the shadows, you'll see his suit in the background, you'll see people talking about Batman, you'll see Gotham City references, other Batman villain references. characters associated with Batman, but not an actor who is actually playing Batman on screen, walking around, who you can identify, like point to and say, that guy is Batman.
Even with Batman, if I was doing Batman, I could get into it. Like, Batman's a maniac, so yeah, he puts on a scary bat costume and goes out and tries to scare people.
During his most recent update, he says that they're still trying to figure out the character, meaning that the Batman Brave and the Bold script is not completely done, but they have been working on it, and he does say it's going really well. Like, he is excited about introducing the character in a bigger way. One of my early conspiracy theories there is that James Gunn was purposefully trying to slow down the introduction of DCU Batman Brave and the Bold, just so that Matt Reeves would have time to do the Batman 2 and release it. That's not supposed to come out till October 2027 though, which is a good long ways away. So do not expect them to announce which actor is actually playing Batman until that movie comes out. If you believe what James Gunn has said in the past and they're going to cast a new actor to play the DCU Batman, the way he explained it is that they just would not release two separate competing Batman movies in the same year, and that's the only big change that they're making to their multiple Batman plan. All because Peter Safran, his producing partner, like they run DC Studios together, has said that they do plan to allow Matt Reeves to do a full Batman trilogy. As of the events of Peacemaker Season 2, there have been about 7 major cameos or appearances or references to the DCU version of Batman. These aren't in chronological order either, but at the end of the Superman movie, people trying to escape Metropolis can be seen driving out of the city over a bridge that almost gets destroyed by a building until Superman saves them as Lex Luthor opens up his pocket dimension. While that's happening, the camera lingers briefly on highway road signs, one of them leading to Gotham City. Doesn't state exactly how far away Gotham City is, but it's implied it's not that far, but further away than, say, like Zack Snyder's Gotham City and Metropolis, which were meant to be right across the bay from each other, like visible to the naked eye. This was Ben Affleck's Batman witnessing the final fight in Man of Steel all the way from Gotham. That's how close they were, that their fight also caused them to crash through Wayne Enterprises' tower and kill a bunch of his friends and co-workers. James Gunn's Gotham City seems a little bit further away than that. His Metropolis, he said, is located in the Delaware of the DCU, just because it had to be somewhere, like he just picked Delaware. The Gotham City would have to be either New Jersey or Baltimore or somewhere else as close as those, and personally New Jersey just sounds like the more likely candidate just because of where it sits across the bay. They literally just referenced it again during Peacemaker Season 2 when Adebayo and her wife said that they had originally planned on moving to Gotham City to set up a security business. I'm sure Batman would have been happy about that, all those Batman villains to go after.
We were supposed to be going back to Gotham, Lee.
Then during episode 1, Rick Flag Sr., who is head of Argus now, taking Amanda Waller's job, watches a broadcast of Clevis Thornweight, Michael Ian Black's reporter character from the Superman movie, on his Center News show, complaining about how multiple supervillains have recently been escaping from Arkham Asylum in Gotham and Belle Reve Prison, meaning more Batman villains are now on the loose. So Batman probably very active. There was that big Justice Gang scene that they retconned at the beginning of Peacemaker Season 2. Batman not featured during that for obvious reasons, because canonically he has not started working with the Justice Gang characters yet. Like, Superman has not met Batman yet. He has not met Bruce Wayne yet. Pretty easy to assume, though, that Batman knows all about Superman, because Superman has been active for 3 years in the DCU when the Superman movie picks up. One of the brand new Peacemaker characters, Sasha Bordeaux, is also a Batman comic book character. James Gunn was recently asked whether or not she had already met Batman coming from Gotham City, and he wouldn't say yes or no to that, and then answered that they're still trying to figure out what's going on with Batman just in general. For some reason, Screen Rant did an interview with him where he actually talked about this on video, but I couldn't put the clip in this because Screen Rant, for some reason, took their video of him talking about Batman down. I don't know if Warner Brothers pressured them to take it down or James Gunn pressured them to take the video down. Usually the only reason why they do something like that is if they reveal some big spoiler that they didn't intend on revealing. Like James Gunn was like, no, I didn't want to say that out loud. Please take that down. In all my time being a YouTuber and posting like 5,000 plus videos, there have only been 2 separate times, very, very rare, that a studio has asked me to take a video down. Like, it's weird if they actually reached out to you to take a video down. There are a couple moments in the Superman movie where I felt like characters were alluding to the fact that they had met Bruce Wayne, but obviously did not know that he was Batman. Like, Cat Grant complains about a rich playboy who doesn't seemingly care about her, that I felt like she was alluding to maybe Bruce Wayne in his playboy persona. Then a couple really big cameo scenes were mostly just during Creature Commandos in 2 different suits because they were meant to take place during 2 different time periods. One was several years in the past, before the events of Creature Commandos and before the events of the Superman movie, where Dr. Phosphorus runs afoul of him at the Ice Lounge, which I think is meant to be the DCU precursor to the Penguin's Iceberg Lounge. Notice how chonky this Batman looks. That's why people were starting to come up with the Alan Ritchson theories like, wow, he looks kind of like Alan Ritchson.
This is the DCU Batman.
The other cameo came during Cersei's post-apocalyptic future vision she gave Amanda Waller, and this was from the future of the DCU before they killed the princess during this series. Killing her prevented this from coming to pass, but the whole idea is that it showed all the major A-list to B to C to D-list superheroes from the comics, like the Justice League, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Booster Gold, even the new Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, like everybody was there. So currently there's 7 to 8 big cameos, references to Batman in the DCU. We'll just get more of this kind of stuff over the next couple of years until we actually see him on screen in a live-action movie. There was a lot of talk about Brandon Sklenar being a version of Batman. That was mostly because James Gunn was spotted talking about 1923, one of his shows on a Peacemaker podcast, but I think that he's just open to many different actors potentially playing Batman. He looked at thousands of actors for David Corenswet's Superman before he settled on him. It's going to be the exact same thing when it comes time to actually cast a Batman. Thousands and thousands of people trying to get that role. I'm expecting to see more Batman references during Peacemaker Season 2 episodes, so as we see more, I will start pointing those out in my episode videos. But if you haven't started watching that, I'll post links for that in my description below. There were a bunch of surprise Flash references in the new Superman movie, along with the Hall of Justice. Click here to learn about all of those, and click here for my brand new Alien Earth episode videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.